has something kind of unusual. It's called a streaming projector. What is that, Robert?
Well, it's as if you took a Pico projector and then a Roku streaming stick and you had an unholy baby between them.
That's funny when you say it. Let's take a look at his review.
The SBR1000 is an ultra-portable 3M device that gives users a pocket-sized, feature-rich Pico projector combined with a Roku stick. The SBR1000 is small, but not tiny. It measures 4.3 inches by 4.2 inches by 2 inches. So when I say pocket-sized, I really mean size that could fit into the pants pockets of a big old fat priest. The unit does weigh less than a pound, so even its not-so-small smallness still feels, well, small. The layout is Spartan. The front of the projector is dominated by a lens and a cooling air intake. The left side hides a small thumb wheel for focus. The right side has a power port, headphone jack, and the cooling outlet. Buttons for power, menu, and volume control line the top of the unit, and a standard tripod mount can be found on the bottom. The SBR1000 has a native resolution of 854 by 480, but will upscale to 720 and 1080i internally. The LED provides 60 lumens of light, which isn't a lot, but can still produce a surprisingly bright picture, even on non-ideal surfaces and relatively bright rooms. The rear of the SBR1000 is purpose-built to house a Roku streaming MHL-enabled HDMI stick, but it can also act as cable management for any standard HDMI cable. The HDMI port on the SBR1000 supports both HDMI and MHL. This means that those with MHL-enabled phones or tablets will be able to plug their devices directly into the projector without any additional adapters or converters. This capability adds functionality to the unit, though you may want to check the MHL certification of your portable device. While some of the MHL devices work flawlessly, the signal from my Samsung Galaxy Nexus 2 tended to freeze. Power comes through a 12-volt 24-watt AC adapter or from the internal rechargeable battery. The SBR1000 is rated for 2.5 hours of life in eco mode, though standard use tended to drain the battery in just under 2 hours. If you use an MHL-enabled device, which will pull power through the HDMI port, expect your runtime to drop into the 90-minute range. The projector will take both audio and video through the HDMI input and includes a single integrated speaker that produces respectable sound for such a small device, but any lengthy listening would be best with external speakers or a set of headphones. Like most Pico projectors, the SBR1000 lacks an integrated stand for adjusting projection angle, and there is no keystone settings to fix the distortion of picture. But the SBR1000's tripod mount makes it possible to position the unit in most any direction. Using the SBR1000 is simple. If you want to connect it to any standard 1080i and below HDMI device, you simply plug the cable into the port on the back of the unit, snap the cable management cover into place, turn it on, and you're projecting. Of course, the main feature of the SBR1000 is the tight integration with the Roku stick. The projector boots directly into the Roku operating system and gives you an easy-to-use menu for calling up your channels. The Roku streaming stick supports dual-band 802.11b, G, and Wi-Fi, WEP, WPA, and WPA2 encryption, and MHL support up to 1080p. The unit comes with a basic IR remote control which can control both the projector and the Roku stick, meaning that novice users won't get stuck in a menu disaster. The quality of the projection really depends on how long of a throw and how big of a picture you want. At 3 to 4 feet from the projection surface, the SBR1000 will create a bright, saturated 27-inch image that is sharp with readable text and decent details. However, as the picture gets larger, it gets progressively degraded and dim. The 120-inch image claimed by 3M is really only possible if you were using the projector in a place that was completely dark, on a surface that was uber reflective, and if you're a wizard living at Hogwarts. The 3M SBR1000 streaming projector powered by Roku is available with a 1-year limited warranty. You can find it online for about $220.
And I think the biggest thing on these little projectors, and you really mentioned it, but I always want to underscore it, is they're not very bright. So you can't get too far back, which means you can't get them too big. 27 inches is probably a realistic distance. Let me ask you go ahead.
They say 120 inches, but really
crazy.
if you go above 30 inches, you just can't see it anymore.
Yeah. Now, you were talking about MHL. As I remember, when we were doing MHL on Know-How, some Samsung phones kind of swap some of the pins, so you may have to get a special MHL adapter for some phones.
Right. MHL is supposed to be a standard, but for some reason, a few manufacturers, Samsung included, decided to swap the pins to make it proprietary, which is a pain.
Yeah.
But, you know, it worked fine on my S2. It worked fine on my S4. Did not work well on my Nexus.
Okay. That's good to know. So let's get the pros and cons. First, the pros.
Pros is it's portable. I mean, it's portable, it's battery powered, which makes it really nice. If you're looking for a fun device, something that could just throw an image up if you want to share a couple of pictures or show a movie, this is great. It's also surprisingly portable, and it's MHL enabled. I mean, to have a device that's MHL enabled that's this size means that your phone becomes your computer. Anywhere you want it, you can toss it up on a screen and you're good to go. Now, the cons are that it includes a really large power supply. I mean, the power supply is over half the size of the projector. And I don't know why they do this. This power supply is larger than the power supply for my laptop.
Yeah.
So, obviously they cheaped out on that. The other thing is that it has really weak speakers. You can plug in external speakers or headphones, but this single speaker right here, it's anemic. You can barely hear it over the fan noise of the unit. And the last thing is, and this is sort of a geek setting, there is no keystone option. So I can't fix the distortion if I put the projector at an angle, which means you need to have the projector straight onto the surface. Otherwise, it's going to slant one way or another.
That's fairly significant. Most of the big size projectors do, in fact, have that adjustment, so you can be at a lower or upper angle. This way, you're saying you have to be exactly perpendicular to the wall to get the screen square. Yeah. So try, buy, don't buy?
I'd say this is a buy, but believe it or not, even with all those cons, this is something that if you want a small projector, if you want something that you can give to the kids, if you want something while you travel, it's an excellent choice. It's battery powered, it's light, it is really feature rich for the price. Yeah. It's a nice thing to have in your travel bag.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, that's $230. That's a really low price, as long as you understand what the limitations are, and I think you've done a good job of explaining those. So, a buy for the, say it again, who makes this? The 3M SPR 1000?
It's a horrible marketing fail name. Yeah. Streaming projector powered by Roku. The better name is the SPR 1000.
SPR 1000.